IDBI Bank is home to around 20,000 permanent employees, and nearly half of them belong to reserved categories, including SC/ST, OBC, and differently abled individuals. These employees have benefited greatly from the reservation policy, which has ensured they have an equal chance at jobs, promotions, and career growth. This policy has allowed many from marginalized communities, including differently abled employees, to build their futures and contribute to the bank's success. The Indian Constitution guarantees social justice and equality through provisions like Article 15 of 4, Article 16 of 4, and Article 46, which provide reservations and protections for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, and persons with different abilities. The privatization of IDBI Bank threatens these rights because private companies are not bound by the same constitutional obligations as public sector institutions. Once privatized, IDBI Bank could remove or weaken the reservation policy, affecting thousands of employees who depend on it for fair opportunities. With the government's plan to privatize IDBI Bank, there's growing fear among these employees that the reservation policy might be at risk. Many are worried that the bank, once privatized, could focus only on profit and leave behind its commitment to inclusivity. This shift could mean that the policies which have helped employees from reserved categories, especially differently abled workers, might be abandoned or watered down. Without government protection, these employees could face discrimination in hiring and promotions, pushing them to the margins of the workforce. For years, employees from these communities joined IDBI Bank because it was a public sector bank that offered job security and opportunities for growth, based on merit and the reservation policy. These employees, many of whom left other public or private sector jobs to work at IDBI, trusted that the bank would offer a stable future. But now, with the possibility of privatization, many of them are unsure about their future. IDBI Bank was established in 1964 as a subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of India. Its mission was to support industrial growth in India. In 2004, it became a commercial bank. Despite this, it still maintained its public sector identity, ensuring that policies like reservations were implemented and that employees from all backgrounds were represented. But the current government is moving ahead with plans to privatize IDBI Bank, and this is causing unease among employees, especially those from reserved categories and differently abled groups, who fear losing their jobs or seeing their opportunities shrink. The employees are speaking up. Protests are happening across India, with large gatherings like the ones at Jantar Mantar in New Delhi. The Joint Forum of Employee Organizations, a group representing workers of IDBI Bank, has been leading these protests. They want the government to protect the reservation policy, which has ensured that employees from SC/ST, OBC, and differently abled communities are fairly represented. They are also asking for job security for these employees, who fear that privatization could lead to their termination or force them into voluntary retirement due to alleged inefficiency or other reasons. Differently abled employees, in particular, fear that their workplace accommodations might be overlooked in a private sector environment that prioritizes profit. Under public sector ownership, these employees have access to necessary support, but a private company may not be willing to invest in inclusive-friendly infrastructure and policies. This could force many of them out of jobs or create barriers to their career growth. They worry that, without the reservation policy, people from these groups might not get hired or promoted. The Joint Forum is pushing for answers and has already met with members of parliament to ask for their support in protecting these employees' rights. They are planning more protests during the parliament's session, hoping to secure commitments that the reservation policies and job protections will remain in place even after privatization. As the privatization process moves forward, the future of thousands of employees from reserved categories, including differently abled staff members, hangs in the balance. The big question now is whether the government will listen to their concerns and safeguard the policies that have helped ensure inclusivity and representation at IDBI Bank. The fight for the future of IDBI Bank is continuing, and its outcome will have a lasting impact on employees from backward communities and differently abled workers.